Hey Dom, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, Eric. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's May. It's Pennsylvania. It's warm weather, cold weather, jump in the pool weather. It's ups and downs, baby. How are
Yeah,
things going on the west end of the state?
I'm pretty good. It's roller coaster weather out here too. We just had rain come through. More rain on the way.
Hmm.
Tomorrow's going to be in the low 70s if we're lucky. Then we're up into the high 80s the rest of the weekend. It's been that way up and down.
Yeah, that's why I'm ready for consistent nice weather. Get my Harley out, get some riding in, and yeah, and also end of the school year coming up, coming up. How
Yes.
about you? When do you guys end?
We kids are done. Seniors finished today.
Oh.
Uh, Everyone else is done next Thursday. Teachers are done next Friday.
Okay. All right. Yeah, my
How about
daughters are
with you guys?
done. My daughters, my oldest graduated, so she was done last week. My sophomore, soon to be junior, she had half 2 hours in class yesterday for a final, and then she was done. And my eighth grader finished up with a half day today. But good old dad gets to go till next Friday, kind of in the boat with you. So I jokingly have told him I will be knocking on the door and they will be waking up as I have to wake up. So at least just for a little bit, they can go back to bed, but I will be disrupting their beauty sleep.
That's nice.
So now, but then family traditions is the only thing they're bummed about. I always do. For whatever reason, started it a while ago. When we all have our first day of summer vacation, I make them breakfast in bed. So they're ready for it to be tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, I'm still in school, so they got to wait for 2 Mondays till they get breakfast in bed. But something to look forward to.
That's a good tradition to have.
It is. It's fun. Well, you're there on the west end. I'm here on the east end. Right now, it's not raining in our studios. I think it's time we crank something up. What do you think?
Sounds good. I think it's about time. We're a little bit late, but I think it's time for the PACT pod.
Yes, sir. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our May edition of the PACT Pod. My name's Eric Verno, Vice President of the PACT, and with me, Tom Salvucci.
Southwest Regional Director, and
Yeah, awesome.
we're here winding down the school year. Um,
Now we're
before
with,
we get
with episode 12, sir. Episode
yes,
12. Yes, sir. All
yes.
right, go ahead. Before we get started, what are you thinking?
Um, well, with recent events, we did want to kind of take a pause and acknowledge and let the people down in Uvalde. Our thoughts, prayers, our sympathies go out to you. It hurts everybody, and I feel for you. Hopefully that's something other districts don't have to go through. Um, but you know, as much as we can support you, we do.
Yeah, definitely thoughts and prayers. And, I can only imagine what they're going through. But yeah, definitely what we can do from here is, definitely take that time and pray and be very thankful for the days we have. So, yeah, yeah, some amazing stories coming out of that whole situation. So, yeah, but so as we have the close to the year, we're kind of saying PACT's on our way to summer vacay. And yeah, we're going to be talking about our topic of today, Dom, is
How are you spending your summer? How do you plan? Hopefully, it's how do you plan to spend your summer, and hopefully those plans come to fruition.
yeah, yeah, and really we talked about relaxing and recharging. So we definitely want to recharge and relax and take some time with the pod here. The pod won't be taking a summer break. We'll still be doing some pretty exciting things, and we'll talk about that more later in the show. But some cool stuff coming with the pod. So we did message the audience. We did send out to the PACT ed tech entrepreneurs, the all the members of PhD that are advancing ed tech to make just life better for their kids, and some interesting results. Why don't you talk a little bit about those, Dom?
Well, we polled the members, and we sent out a Google form asking like, "What are your summer plans?" They were rather general questions: relaxing, recharging. Some people were teaching summer school. Are you prepping for next year? Do you taking professional development or grad courses? Just doing some reading for pleasure? And what were some favorite summer activities? And we got some good responses back.
Yeah, a lot of good things there, the way to relax or, what you're looking to do to recharge. I do laugh about reading for pleasure. I jokingly say I read blogs, I don't read books, but that's always a joke when we have KTI in the summer about making a reference to the teachers and how many of you have a big bag at home filled with a whole bunch of books that you were hoping to read and we're in July and you haven't touched those yet. But yeah, but reading for pleasure is a different scenario. So
Yeah.
yeah, good stuff. So yeah, 100%. I know they had multiple things that they could check, right? But everybody was
Yeah.
like, I want to relax.
Yes.
Everybody was like, 100% of people that responded are reading for pleasure, which is awesome to see.
That is self care is a big thing, especially after the last few years of education being all turned upside down. And this year it wasn't quite back to normal. So that is one thing. The one trick I found, because we have the pool going in the backyard, I have the pool books. I'll get my mom will give me some of her hand me down books that she got for free from friends, or I'll go to the dollar store and I'll get some pool books. So if they get wet, it's no harm, no foul, and I can sit in the pool and read, or sit by the water and read. And then I have my good books that I read on the porch. Don't get near the water because I collect those, and much to my wife's chagrin. In my ebooks, so that's the way to get around. You can still have fun at the beach. You get the cheap paperbacks, so if they get wet, get suntan lotion on them or something. It's not a loss. You don't do it to the public library books. That's bad.
Yeah, I gotta be careful with those. Hey, that's good. This is our second year with a pool, and I will tell you, I was not relaxing or reading for pleasure when it came to opening the pool and all the mistakes that were made in closing the pool at the Casa de Verno here. So yeah, just rolling through that and dealing with getting that all ready. And I know, see, I always see pictures of your pool and your setup, and definitely a lot more advanced than what we have so far. But that's a good idea. Now, once I get everything under control, algae in check, all my numbers in check. Having a book or whatever, something to be able to read while I'm floating around or whatever. That's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah,
That's a nice one. Hopefully, a lot of you are getting a chance to either hit the beach or go to a local pool and just hang out and be able to have that time. That'd be nice.
yeah. That is it is nice having the pool in the backyard. We used to hit the local pool before that, or hang out with friends, or Erie's an hour and a half, not even from here, so we can make the Erie run. But yeah, water, especially in summertime when the heat's up, water fun, water parks are the way to go. Even
Mhm.
little before we had this pool, we had the little inflatable 18-inch, 7 foot by 7 foot. Bought a pump off of Amazon because there's too much water to dump out every night. We ran that. Um,
Yeah.
Very relaxing.
Hmm. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, for us, it's we have Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, not too far away. We can go hit Ocean City, Maryland. Go for a little bit more of a drive, a little longer of a drive.
Yeah,
Go hit New Jersey shore. So, yeah, not too far to hit the different beaches. But my family is very much a lake family, and so there's a lake that my wife used to go to all the time as a child growing up, and so we try to hit that during the summer. So we're there for about 4 or 5 days, and nothing like just waking up, having coffee on the dock, and being able to kayak. It's like, some of the people listening may not remember these days because they're a little younger, but Dom and I will, where you hopped on your bike and you just took off.
yeah,
You were playing baseball, you were playing basketball, and like when that sun started going down, that was your little smartwatch. That's when you knew it was time to go home. And my town was so small, my parents would reach out to my grandmother because the baseball field we were playing was across the road, and she would yell, "Time for dinner, time to go home." I'd hop on my bike and ride home. So our experience at the lake, it's not a real big one, and it's like the kids put on the vests, they hop on the kayaks, and my three daughters, and we sometimes will have one or two friends different days or family come visit, and they're gone, and
nice.
it starts to get dark, and you yell, and you can see them on the other side of the lake again. It's not very big, and they come paddling home, and but there's just that safety. They have the vest on, they're good swimmers, but just like kind of like that carefree. I always think, man, that's like it's like back when I used to hop on my BMX bike and just take off.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah.
hard doing it now. Like we'll go up to Erie, and my daughter will take some friends, depending on where we go, depending how crowded it gets. We'll give them a little bit of freedom and like check in certain times, and unless it's like crazy crowded, then we're no, it's too many people. But you hit the beaches up there and stuff. It's nice. It's bigger lake, but that's
Hmm.
where we used to go
Yeah,
whenever I was a kid, up to Lake Erie all the time. Some of the state park
nice.
lakes, Western PA.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, reading through some of the responses, just more specific. They got the beach in the cabins,
Yeah,
fishing, kayaking. So reading in a hammock. Do you have a
that's
hammock,
nice.
Tom?
I used to have a hammock.
Mm.
The chipmunks got to it in the shed. I had to get rid of it. So I was like, oh,
Mm. That's always my secret. Like, maybe this year for Father's Day, I might get a hammock. I don't know. I can just picture myself just bumming out on one of those
yeah,
things. We went a couple years ago to a conference, and it was real rough. It was in Walt Disney World, but for my daughter for the Osteogenesis Imperfecta conference, and I'll never forget outside. I think it was the Swan and Dolphin Hotel. I believe that was right. They had a whole bunch of like hammocks just all set up, and like everybody ran and like we all hit a different one. And it was like
yeah.
hide and seek in hammocks. It was pretty fun. It's a good time. Good time.
I,
Just hanging and swinging.
I've traded my hammock in for a pool float, so it was an even trade.
Yeah, that's not too shabby. Not too
Yeah,
shabby. All right, we got reading and traveling with family,
yes.
playing with the kids.
That's one
Spend.
thing. You're with kids all day long. You come home and your kids have stuff going on. I know my daughter's getting a little bit older, and I look back to whenever she was real little and all the time we had. Now as a teenager, it's kind of like you get the I want to go with my friends, or I want to my friends come, and yeah, you miss that as when they're little kids and they're semi-captive audience because you just pick them up and carry them.
Yeah, it's funny. Even we have a lot of different teachers that are also sports coaches and stuff. And I know I would come home and my kids learned that for the first half hour to an hour, they had to give me a little distance because it was like I was in coaching mode. So they'd
Yeah,
be like, "Oh, Dad, can we do it?" And I'd be because I was used to yelling on a football field. So you had to have that calm down time, but then you spend time with them. But
yeah,
and everybody's busy with so many different things. This time of year, we got teachers are we're going to see our students baseball games and our students this and that, and sometimes our kids want to tag along, and sometimes they don't want to tag along with good old dad. I go by myself, and but that's time away from them, but it's still investing time with the kids that we have,
yeah,
so that balance. So really that that time over the summer is really that time to really invest that time back into the kids that you were putting into your students. And so it's huge. Family's big, family's strong,
yeah.
got to keep it in check. So like I said, we're doing a lake trip. Um, I will be visiting, a little bit more business than pleasure, but I'll be visiting New Orleans, and next month we'll be talking a little bit about ISTE, but I'll be down there as a member of the PACT group going down because next year ISTE is going to be hosted in Philadelphia.
That is going to
So we
be
want to make
nice.
sure, yeah, we want to make sure we have all our ducks in a row and ready to go with that. Any trips with the family for you, Dom, or any trips for you?
Um, Florida was what we were planning. That kind of fell through.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, couldn't find a place, and the places we could find, they would probably accept my daughter because she's in the I'm gonna lay around, listen to music quietly mode. The let's splash in the pool and carry on was frowned upon. So my neighbor and I were thinking we wouldn't stay long. So we passed that up. I think we're gonna go to Erie, hit Waldemere Park up there, do some day trips around the area, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, do those small trips with family and friends. Do that. I got some. I'm doing summer school, but it's all online. So
Oh, okay.
I will be, my thing. I get up in the morning, uh, go for a walk or do some stretching and stuff. Get on the computer, have my coffee before everyone else gets up, and set stuff up for the day. Check and see if kids have any questions, and go from there. So kind of my routine in the summer.
Hmm.
Um, and that's built in. 'Cause I get up early anyway. I'm used to getting up early for the school year, and I just tend to kind of cruise with that through the summer.
Yeah, I find sometimes it's a little bit easier to wake up earlier in the summertime.
Yeah,
So
especially
has your good.
coffee on the deck, kick
Mm.
back and listen to the birds and just kind of hang out. Peaceful.
Yeah, I definitely love that. Yeah. So now your summer school's online. Has it always been online?
No. When I first started, I actually used to run the summer school down in middle school. I ran our all ed program and I ran the summer school. It was in person. Uh, we had a bunch of kids down there, and then the high school had in person summer school. But I was at the middle
Okay.
school at the time, so I did that, and then we transitioned to online, and I did that for a while. But then it was like it wasn't worth going in because I spend more time driving than I would in the school because we were just doing a couple hour shifts. So
Hmm.
I got out of it. Then now that I can teach from home, if I need to go in, you know, take the family, make a breakfast morning. I'd like let's go down. I'll run into school, meet with the kids face to face, and then take the family out to breakfast. There's some good places down where I work that have some good breakfast and make it morning of it. But
Not too bad.
it's not bad. And keep in touch with the kids, see what they're doing. Over the summer they have activities going on. It keeps going because saying it was the last day for seniors in my school was bittersweet. A lot of the seniors coming by to say goodbye and touch base before they left because I'm not going to see them till graduation,
Hmm.
and after that they're gone. So it was like they're moving on, but it was great when they came back to my room and hey, we don't want to interrupt class. Now come on in and
Hmm.
got the chance to talk to them. I see them in the hallways and stuff. We're not a big school, but it was cool. They came back like, hey, stop in and talk and say goodbye before they leave. So it was good.
That's neat. Yeah.
Bittersweet.
Heck, yeah. And hey, we're teachers. We thrive on interruption. That's always my
Yeah.
line. You're not interrupting. You're saving these kids in the room for me being a little less boring. I can be more interactive. Yeah, they always crack up. No, that's cool. That's neat. It's got to be. I do miss not being in that when we were in the middle school, connected to the high school environment. Seeing some of those
Yeah.
kids pop by, but we get emails or this or that, and so yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. Well, you get the middle school, you get the kids getting ready to go to high school. Same kind of vibe, but they're just moving to a different building. And
Yeah.
that was, whenever I was in elementary school, it was always cool watching the kids that went to the high school or like elementary, the kids that went to the middle school coming back to visit the teacher. Like, those are the middle school kids and stuff. So
Hmm.
I'm sure you get that going.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, and it's always funny seeing the sixth graders as they're ready to leave our building at last day of school. They're tearing up, and as we're in these final weeks, and you're working on stuff, and they don't want to be there, and they're like, I can't wait to be out of here. And I always laugh. I say, listen, I'm going to get an email with you. I'm going to get an email from you 2 weeks after you're out, telling me you're bored. You wish you were back in my room. Oh, I'll never, never. It's those kids that always say no
Yeah.
the most. They're like the first email you get. You're like, I see you there, Vic. I got you. All right, buddy. Yeah. So yeah, they're all in that stage. But going on when we get into our tech notes, I got a lot more things to share, but that's kind of like something that we do towards the end that helps keep the excitement. But we also our school does offer summer camps. So some teachers have stepped up to offer. We got teachers that are doing a ukulele camp. We've got a drone camp. So the kids actually, with the money they pay, part of it goes towards the camp. The other part goes, they get I think the one year they got like those Mambos, little, $100
Wow.
drones that they learned how to fly. Then they got to take one home.
Oh, that's
Um, the teacher did one where they built some old school, like this was a little bit more because they built like some old school, those um, motorized airplanes, but the way it worked was just a coding thing. They found some company to code with, so they're learning how to code, fly the airplane. So we even have, I forget, there's like a survivors camp, and the one they were doing all sorts of like STEM challenge building stuff, just hands on. So we try to do a lot of that at the school that the parents can kind of sign the kids up for,
yeah.
um, and I think we're covered. I think it's almost every week the building's not in a cleaning mode that we're able to be in there. We are. So I think we have about 8 or 9 camps going. So the
That's
one camp
good.
I do, we'll be doing twice, but I'll be there a full week for one, and then I'll be leaving because I'll be heading to ISTE during one of them. So yeah. So, but we try to do some different stuff. So another way to keep in contact with those kids and have them active and doing stuff. So
Yeah.
it's always,
That's
so we
great.
call it our STEAM camp summer, our summer STEAM camp. So yeah, it's a good time.
That's a great idea. That would be a great idea to kind of use to seed, and I might pick your brain on that and
Yeah.
go from there.
Yeah. No.
That's
So yeah,
cool.
and it's just a little morning. It's we get there at 7. Kids get there at 8. They're out by noon. So just just a little quick hitter. So
Yeah,
4 days and you crank through. But yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. So it's had a lot of positive, for the parents. We do allow it. Like, so our building's a 4, 5, 6 building. So sixth graders, their last year, hurrah, they could do it. And we have allowed, depending on what camp it is, some third graders that are coming into the building, their ability to come in. So you got those kids that are more anxious. They get to see
yeah,
the inside of the building and get familiar with a couple locations before fall. So it's nice for that too.
yeah. That is a, it's because I used to work Girl Scout camp for
Hmm.
Lawrence County, and you know the younger girls love being able to, like, whenever they get to stay and do stuff with the older girls. It builds that, they get to work with the older kids. The older kids get the little chance at mentoring, and the younger girls would get to see what they could look forward to. They'd see the older girls doing stuff, and like, can we do that? No, no, that's what we need a little bit older, but you get a taste of it. We'll do a little bit today, but when you're older, you get to stay overnight and do these other things. And
Hmm.
it was interesting to get the girls going. So I like that concept of letting the younger kids come in and see what they have to look forward to.
Yeah, yeah, and that's definitely a good time. All right, well, I know a lot of the stuff that I could also share about ties in with my tech notes. So I don't know if you're ready to kick over to tech notes. Right? What do you think?
Yeah, we could kick over to tech notes. That is
All
fun.
right,
No
all
guests
right. Well,
this month, but
no, no guests, just all beard and goatee action. No breaks. All right, here we go. Let's crank. Let's do a little tech notes. Man, there's that little riff in that tech notes transition, man, that just makes me think of like John Cougar Mellencamp, like it's gonna kick over to. Oh yeah, it's so funny. All right. Well, hey, why don't you kick it off with your tech note of the month?
you know, I was going to go, and I know we talked about this before. I was going to talk about some podcasting apps, but I'm not going to do that. I'm switching up
Hmm.
because I was thinking over the summer is whenever I get a chance to really get into and kick back and do a lot of, like, um, extra research and prep for the next year. Twitter, it's free. It's social media. I don't think we've done that one yet. Um, but we have the KTI chat going on. The PACT out of state runs a chat. But what I like, and even I use during the school year when I have time, the SAT chat. It is an educational chat on Saturdays. They post the questions ahead of time, and I get a lot of great ideas and network with a lot of um, educators from around the globe in the United States. And Twitter is a great professional development tool. And summertime, like you said, you read a lot of blogs. I have more time in the summer to sit and scroll through Twitter and find articles and resources and click on them and kind of go deeper in the research. Because I'm not trying to grade papers and plan for the next day and field questions, emails from students and things like that, putting out the fires in the classroom and trying to get kids caught up. So I have more time to kick back and look through and take a deeper dive on the tools instead of just putting them into a wakelet and I'll look at this later. I'll look at this later. I have time to actually look at it in the summertime, see if it's something I want to use in my classroom. So that hit me when we were talking. Um, you know, Twitter's great free resource.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And now, so let's take this further. So with Twitter, you did mention Wakelet. So
Yes,
you kind of use those hand in hand.
yes.
So explain how you pull like Wakelet in hand in hand with Twitter.
You can in Wakelet run searches with hashtags or the at and the account you're looking for. So it's kind of like, and I forget the tool. It used to be free and then it went away, but we used to use it as a back channel. And I don't know if you remember. It was a free tool, which you could kind of run, kind of like Wakelet, but you could make books out of it. And I used
Hmm.
to like run sat chat books. Um, and when I would
Yeah, I'm
go to
not
conferences,
sure.
I can't remember the name of it, but it went away probably about 5 years ago.
Okay.
which happens all too often with really good tech tools that I like. And then
It
it's like,
really
oh
does.
man, I'm scrambling. But
Yeah.
with Wakelet, you can do searches for the at accounts, hashtags, and it will go through and you can go through and put what you want in a Wakelet, kick the ones you don't want out, and it'll um, not choreograph, um,
Like
uh,
coordinate or
coordinate and pull everything in and put it on the. I'm almost in summer mode. My vocabulary is slipping.
it's
Um,
all good. Yeah.
and put it into the Wakelet, and I could save things that way. But what I'll do a lot of times, I'll do it manually. As I'm scrolling through Twitter, I'll like certain tweets, some I'll retweet, but a lot of times I'll go into um, on my iPad or my phone, I'll hit the link and I'll see what the tool is, or I'll see like a tweet that mentions something, and I'll go in, I'll check out the tool, and then from there, once I'm on that site, I'll push that site into a Wakelet, and like I have them the list preset, like okay, this is a tool for my classroom, this is a tool for professional development, or this is content for my classroom, and I just go in and I push it into those Wakelets as I'm reading through it. I'm like, okay, I could use this. This one I might not be able to use, but one of my one of my friends in another subject can use,
Hmm.
and I'll push it into those Wakelets manually as I'm looking through. And instead of just taking the tweet, I'm going into the site and
Okay.
pushing the site over that way. I'm
Nice.
one of the people. I'm like the bad person at a conference. Whenever someone's talking about something, I'm in there playing with what they're talking about, so I can ask
Right.
questions. And that's how I like with Twitter. I like to when I see something, I'll go in and I'll play with it and kind of say, okay, is this useful for me, or is this not useful for me, or what questions do I have, and you know, go that
Yeah.
route. I'm more hands on with these than just the running them through my head.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'd say, Wakelet's kind of a newer, app, love it, use it a good bit and, getting better at it every day, and I like the old school one I would use would be Pocket. I kinda
Yeah.
dump some things to Pocket and send it over there, and then I can kinda read them later and, no, very cool. That's good stuff. Alright, well, so
What did you?
every I was gonna say my tech note kinda tying into everything we're talking about, the camp that I do over the summer, it's a Minecraft camp. The work I'm gonna be doing, I'm actually slated, I'll be in Oregon, I'll be in Virginia, and even be talking about it when I'm at ISTE a little bit, Minecraft EDU. So, one thing that we're currently using in our classroom, all of 6th grade, has we developed a Minecraft, like just a little unit the kids have to go through, and we jokingly say it's dealing with a difficult HOA, and everybody can have experience with that. We talked to the kids about how there's different regulations and things that you have to follow when you have a homeowners association, and so the kids have to pull in what we've learned about ratios and percentages, create a garden. It's got to have certain types of flowers and stuff. They've got to pull in what we've done with perimeter. They've got to make one of our favorite things, Dom, a pool. They've
Nice.
got to pull in and animal sanctuary, and then we do a little bit more there again with percentages and pulling in proportions with the amount of chickens, horses, pigs, different animals, and then a pathway, pulling in prime number where, hey, your pathway has to have a prime number of certain blocks, whatever the main block is. And then the big one is the kids are working on finishing up, and I give them a number amount and came up with a billing of like how much each block, oh, if I want to use one of these quartz blocks, it's $4. If I want to use one of these diamond blocks, it's $5. And the kids have to build a house, 3-bedroom house, two bed. I just do 3-bedroom, one kitchen, one family room, one bathroom, one floor, and they have $10,000 to build the first house, and then to put a roof on another 5,000. And so they got to kind of go through and make this build, and they want to do these grandiose things. Then they look at the
Yeah.
numbers. That was $50,000. I gotta blow some stuff up, and then I teach them how to use. We're using Screencastify, and then they're gonna take me on a tour through their home, because for this project, it's on their Chromebook, so I can't have access to it in the evening.
Okay.
During the year in math class, we have a make. I have a make this big, what I call. There's an old PBS Britain, so like a British PBS show called Maths Mansion, and it's bad. And but it will go over some different concepts that we cover in math. But it's like these kids are like locked in this house, and in order to get out, they got to answer math questions. And you're like, what parent would not know their kid's been locked in some mansion for like weeks, you know? And so we watch the show, and and all my kids are like, "Oh, this is so." So I jokingly say, then when we get a little further in the year, they have to make their own maths mansion, and there's no price limit on that. But then when we do different things in math, I say, "Hey, now for the last 30 minutes, you're gonna hop into, and I'll open the world up on my computer." They go to their coordinates and they make an artifact of what we talked about in their math mansion. They've got to let me know where it is, and because it's on my computer, when I get home, I can pop the world open. I can go visit and check out their stuff.
Oh,
So we
that's
use it
neat.
interactively all year. Right now, they're doing this activity. When I do the camp, we do it similarly. We do an HOA where we have the kids build a lake house, and for the summer camp, I pull more coding in. The
Okay.
kids love. There's a If you ever get a chance to play, there's a code to make 1,000 TNT boxes. And so they start off and they learn how to code that, and then they've got to blow it up, and then they fill it with water, and that becomes the lake. And this is a lakefront community, usually because I'm getting ready to go visit our lake. And then
Yes.
they got to fill the lake, they got to build their house, and then we give them all sorts of thing. So it's funny, during the summer camp, we have the siren, like a YouTube siren. And when the siren goes off, the first day they're like, second day. By like the third day, they're like, oh, the HOA isn't happy about something. And we'll be like, oh, they visited your property and you don't have any shrubs. You need to add shrubs, like just different stuff. So it's pretty funny. But so that's how we keep them. So we get the coding in, we get the building in. They're working collaboratively as a group. They get to share and man, even though I do some work training for so PACTs in Pennsylvania, NCCEs in the Northwest, so I'll actually do some training for NCCE, which is hired by Microsoft. And even though I'm doing the trainings and teaching teachers how to use Minecraft in their classroom, I learn so much from the kids every time. It's wild. So anyway, so tying in a lot of the different things that I have for the summer is just working with educators, working with kids, and having them work with Minecraft. And every school in Pennsylvania. So if you're listening, you're in a school in Pennsylvania, all of our um, all of our tenants has hey Gina, all of our tenants of Office 365 has the Minecraft EDU all set up. Yeah, I saw that earlier, Corey. She's chilling in Long Island already. She's
Yeah.
already on her summer vacay feel. Um, but anyway, and the cool thing is when the kids log in at school, it's on their device, and they can log on an Xbox, they can log on anywhere else they have Minecraft, and they're able to build. Um, the other unique one I did was science class. This week they had 3 days to create something in Minecraft based off of some science lab we did this year. So we do a big Connects car lab. So I had Connects cars. We do a Hot Wheels. So I had tracks and Hot Wheels. We do stuff with bouncy balls, sneakers. So I had all the kids create these. And then there's a really cool, it's called a structure block that you can do. And the kids can actually export the file in a 3D shape. And then when you pull it into PowerPoint, you can actually set it to kind of like spin like a model. And so the goal is next week on our last class is Tuesday that I'm going to pull up that file and I have it set to go, and I'm just going to have everybody's what they built shown on the big screen.
Oh,
So
that's
so
neat.
so definitely excited for that. And
Yeah.
and I tell them like down the road they could actually export that and then eventually 3D print that. So not on the pancake pot, but they could 3D print that. So yeah, no, that's funny.
Yeah, my
Oh.
students are bummed I can get the pancake bought into school. It's just a matter of being able to print enough pancakes in the class period for everyone to
Mm.
partake, and it's like,
Well, here's a funny one for you. I walked into, of all places, I walk into church, and my daughter's culinary teacher goes to our church, and she said, "Hey, your daughter made a comment that you know about the pancake bot." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm working on getting one. I don't think anybody has one." She actually got one from one of their um, I'll get you in one second, Gina. So she actually got one in her room. So they actually worked on coding it and printing the pancakes. Um, so Gina, to answer your question, Minecraft EDU education version, there is no age requirement. Schools, Office 365. So if your school, some schools they won't give their kids accounts till a certain age. That would be your only possible sticking point there. Um, but I just have when the kids go in and when I create a world, I do creative. The cool thing about EDU is they have everything. They don't have to like hunt for stuff. Like when the game first came out, like it used to be like muffin fire. I don't even know. It made something like they had to do stuff to make different food or clothes, or not clothes, but food or like wood to be able to build. In EDU, they have everything. It's just with your tech department if they have the Office 365 set up. Again, they all have. Uh, it's a part of all of Pennsylvania's contracts for Microsoft Office 365. Um, it's just whether they have it turned on or not. So our school we use Chromebooks. They turned it on for our whole building, but you just need to make sure your teachers know because if the kids can hit the Play Store button on our Chromebooks, they show it, and when they click it, it works. Oh gosh, high school, that's a no-brainer. Yeah, totally. So I wasn't sure if you were going for the littles or the olders. Yeah, high school, like um, we have a transition of principals. So the new principals in another school district was visiting today, and he was sharing how in the high school kids are using this to recreate civilizations, world cultures. They're able to go in there. The cool thing about it is, especially like the chemistry unit I did with my kids, 118 elements. So the periodic table of elements, if you know electron, proton, neutron, you know the makeup, you can create it. Chemical reactions will happen in there. Um, I I'm trying to think of some different examples with high school, but really the sky's the limit. And then there is a cool feature where the kids can use a book and quill, and when they're going around and like taking pictures of stuff, when they're doing stuff, they can actually write a whole, take a picture, draw stuff. They do selfies in front of stuff they made. It's really funny. And when they type everything up, they can actually export it as a PDF file and then submit that to you and share that. So you can go ahead and grade that. So honestly, I think I need to do a whole separate show purely on Minecraft because there's so much to do, and I'll work on pulling some people in. But it's honestly it's really cool. All the stuff they can do, and they're going to be like, so you're at the high school. They're gonna be like, can I bring my Xbox controller in? Because they know how to Bluetooth connect that, and then when they hook those things up, oh my gosh, the sky's the limit. They're like, they're so fast on a keyboard. It's like they're slower. They keep pace more with me, but yeah, with all that stuff, they do a lot of really neat things. So yeah, one cool thing is during KTI Summit, one of the sessions I do work with teachers. We do go over Minecraft. The other thing, Gina, I'm not sure how familiar you are, but Microsoft Learns. It used to be they called it the MEC, the Microsoft Education Community. But if you go into Microsoft Learns, there's a whole plethora of courses, and actually some good friends of mine at NCCE are actually in some of the videos Microsoft is using for their education side. And you can get tons of ideas, and it's free classes. You get badges, the whole deal. What was that last one? I think my integrated course would find this fun: history, English, tech. Oh, that's yeah. I mean, you'd be able to set something up at the beginning and just spoon feed that all year long. Like I said, my kids they come in for the first 5 minutes. We go over a review concept. They'll maybe get a paper. They do a couple problems. I'll give them a quick Khan Academy, and then they roll right into Minecraft. So you want to talk about less behavior issues at the end of the year? Say I just tell the kids, listen, it's the end of the year. I'm ready for summer. I'm ready for the pool, and you are the same. And I said, so here's what we're doing. We got a couple things I want to review with you because I want to make sure you're solid for seventh grade. And then in the end, we got some Minecraft. If you don't do what I need, no Minecraft. I'm not going to yell, not going to get excited, not going to get cranky, you know? So, I mean, it's like, what was it, Classcraft, when you were able to do that for classroom management, the Minecraft thing. Oh, so simple. So, yeah. So, yeah, definitely. Well, good luck with that. Reach out if you have any questions. Gina, definitely I'll, do what I can, but it is super cool. Seriously. It's really cool. And it's funny, even the kids that at first, when you mentioned Minecraft, they're like, oh, Minecraft. Oh, I want Fortnite, blah, blah, blah. Then you start doing stuff like they're digging it and, they're like teaching other kids how to do stuff. So it's pretty cool. But especially then coding, the coding is really cool. That would be something that's really neat. Make sure to tie some of that in. So that's fun. Yeah, good
That
stuff.
that sounds like it'll be a blast. Both teaching it and having the kids work with
Yep. Yep. When I'm playing, I mean, when I am working on demoing worlds, it's yeah, it's a good time. It is fun. And then your kid tells you, yeah, sit wherever you want. You just make sure you're doing what you got to do, and yeah, it's good stuff. So again, they're able to show their learning really nicely. Definitely. almost more authentic than paper pencil. So it's really good stuff. So yeah, so the cool thing is I'll be able to talk a little bit about that down in New Orleans at ISTE. It'll be interesting when I go to into Oregon, and again they're Chromebook based, so it's right in my wheelhouse. And I remember when I got trained in Redmond by the Minecraft team. It was really cool meeting them. And the number one question was, it was I don't even know 6 years ago now. Hey, when's Minecraft coming out for Chromebooks? We hear rumors, and the head of education just got a big smile on his face and said, Microsoft is definitely interested in making sure Minecraft is everywhere our customers are. And then like slowly walk off, and you're like, okay. Yeah, but when that rolled out, that's a game changer.
I want to thank Gina for participating in the show
Yeah,
today.
nah, it's good stuff.
We're gonna work on something to be able to get like we have the virtual green room, so we give like virtual gifts and presents for people that participate.
Yeah, and send stickers or something.
Yeah,
We're working on it. So that's your next task, Gene. I think of some good prizes and giveaways for the PACT pod. And we'll talk about it when we're at when we're in State College in June doing our board meeting. We'll have to have a PACT pod brainstorming
yeah.
session. Yeah, work study. So yeah, work session. No, good stuff. So I could talk for hours on doing some of that stuff. But definitely really cool. So again, when I'm traveling, I it's just neat. I'll feel like I'm normal again. Be able to fly to Oregon and just working with other teachers and seeing them get excited. It's a little different level than working with kids and seeing them get excited. When you see
Yeah.
some teachers get excited, like that's pretty cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it's funny. When I was in Omaha, we were actually right across the street from where they do the college baseball World Series. I remember it was like my second training session ever, and I go in and there's this 6'8", bald guy, and he didn't want to be there. It's like July, and I'm like, and I just worked on buddying up with him. I was like, if I win this guy over, I got the room. So it was pretty funny. But yeah, he was one eye open until I mentioned the ability to export your files and 3D print them, and then boop, and then when I said you could pull it into PowerPoint, then he was like he was all in. Yeah, he was buying what I was selling. It was awesome. It's fun. So it's just a different kind of
One
working
of us,
crowd.
I think it was me. One of us, I hesitated. I think my internet glitched.
Yeah, it did just there, but sometimes I can't tell.
Yeah, I wasn't sure
I,
which one of us. I'm like sitting there, I'm like, wait, you're quiet. Is that me or is that him? I better say something just in case.
well, we'll find out. We'll find out when we put it up on YouTube. Now, speaking
Yeah.
of YouTube, Dom, we got some changes going on YouTube. Why don't we
Yes.
transition and talk a little bit about that?
PACT Pod has its own YouTube channel. So no longer do you have to look for info at PACT. It is just the PACT Pod on YouTube. We're migrating everything over. I think we have all the main show videos over there. We have leading into the show. A lot of times between shows, we'll put up a little teaser commercial. We have those over there. And over the summer, what else are we going to be doing with all these, Eric?
Yeah, well, I was actually going to pull it up real quick as well to show people the page. So if you want to work on that, but yeah, so what's really exciting is at KTI on I believe it's going to be the last Thursday of the month in July. We are going to be doing a live PACT pod as one of our sessions. So Dom and I are going to be talking to a bunch of teachers who are attending KTI. We're going to be doing a live pod. We're going to talk about podcasting in your classroom. So I'm going to ask right now. I have a slew of podcasts that I listen to for myself. I don't use it as much for kids, but that's one of my goals this summer to really study up on. But if you're watching this live, if you're watching this on our YouTube page down the road, if you have any podcast that you love to use in your classroom, email us let me pull this one up here. Email us at pod@pact.org. Let us know, let Dom and I know what you use. We want to really put it together. We want to share with them because not only are we going to be podcasting live from KTI, but our goal is in February, we will be podcasting from P&C. We are hoping that gets accepted. I know an email came out that the the request for proposals, or the RFP, as the cool kids say, is opening around June 1st and going through August. So we're going to put in to be able to present and do the pod from Pete and C. I believe it's at Kalahari this year, so we will be there. And then again, same concept, and even having people in the audience be able to participate. We're going to show the back end. Here's how we do it. We use StreamYard. Here's how you do. Show you the ins and outs of doing your own pod, but then also talking about how can you utilize podcasts in your classroom. All right. Do you have the pod?
I'm sharing it right now. Let me go back. I'm sharing my screen. I
Yeah.
think you have to run the control on it, but I have it pulled up.
All right. I'm not. So as we were saying, PACT info is where you used to be able to find all of our podcasts. And then also through, Dom was going to talk about Anchor, but that's what we use to run our audio through. And so you can listen to our podcast on any podcast player that you prefer, and it kicks out through Anchor. But we wanted to make it easier to be able to have people go to one spot and not wade through the other PACT information. So we moved the PACT pod to its own location. Home location. Let's see if I can pull it up here while you're trying there, Dom. Ah, here we go. And I guess I should hit subscribe while I'm doing it. All right, let me share.
Hold on,
Let's see here. Oh, here we go, Dom. I got it.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. The PACT pod all set up right now. 1 subscriber. So we're looking for more subscribers. I know sometimes these guys up here might scare you, but it's okay. All right, we've got, the May 2022. Dom went on to do a quick little spiel because there's a couple things that didn't fall in alignment last week as far as our ability to do the pod. So we pushed it to this week. It also fell dealing with, me working through graduation stuff with my oldest daughter. All right, and then we got remake learning episode, St. Patrick's Day episode. All right, so March preview. So all of our pods are listed, and we're working on building out our playlist. Just as tonight, Dom talked about in the tech notes, he was talking about using Twitter and Wakelet. Twitter for Education Wakelet, which we will have a live Twitter chat, the KTI chat during the KTI Summit as well. So he talked about that. I talked about Minecraft EDU, so we're going to work on pulling these out and having a playlist just devoted to all of our tech notes and things, so it's easier to find. So PACT pod, all right, please subscribe. So I know I hit subscribe, so I don't know if that was my delay or if we got somebody else while we were talking, Dom, but good stuff. But again, the definitely the plea of, if you have information on using podcasts in your classroom, we would love any and all information you can share. So that'd be great.
Please reach out. We monitor the email. You could also hit us up on Twitter. Reach out to us. We'd like to have you on the show. We're always interested in learning from new voices.
Yeah, most definitely. All right, sir. Well, a lot of really good stuff. Our one thing we're going to be doing too is increasing our presence with our sponsors and having some videos to talk more about them and the things they offer educators. And so I'm looking forward to hearing from a lot of our corporate council members on the show.
They're scrolling across the bottom. Do give a shout out to all of them, because without these corporate council members, PACT would not be able to do what we do.
Gina's excited for the P&C RFPs. So, all right, very good. Good stuff. Yep, no, definitely. So I think it's time now for us to officially thank our sponsors. What do you think, Dom?
Sounds like a plan.
All right, here we go. All right, so I still got to work on that volume. So if that blasted anybody out, I do apologize. All right, so closing thoughts, Dom, as we're finishing up and getting ready to head off into the wild blue summer vacay.
Basically, just everyone's wrapping up their school year. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your families, and we'll see you soon. Enjoy the beginning of summer. Hopefully, the end of your school year isn't as stressful as it is for some people. You know, mine's briefly stressful, but been teaching for so long that I kind of have the process down. And there's always little glitches that pop up, but it's one of those, kind of like the kids. It's good to get out of school, but then you miss the interactions with the kids, and it's kind of that
Mhm.
bittersweet thing going on.
Yeah, definitely. And even change. Our team's making a move in our building, so holding off, but itching to pack things up and get things moved. And being in the same room we had into our, I think we're like year 12 in our new building, so had to do this 12 years ago. Now having to do, you just accumulate stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah, but definitely excited to focus on that resting, relaxing. And we did have a local scenario with the teacher occur too. So just puts life into perspective of spending time with family and just taking that time to truly relax and recharge. I know sometimes it's hard for teachers to kind of let go, of things that were going on, and to the best of your ability, do it.
yeah,
Take time for you, fill your cup up. You've been pouring out all year long. So
yeah,
you definitely want to make sure that that's taken care of. And, hopefully we'll see you live when we got the pod rolling, whether it be, in July at KTI, whether it's early in June because of ISTE rolling around,
and
and then even in the August time. So yeah.
yeah, and the regular June show. Um, I believe 4 out of the 7, possibly 5 out of the 7 regional directors will be on. We're gonna try and get the 2 that are going to be away, at least get some pre-recorded interviews with them, and we'll have the regional director show coming up in June.
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna combine the ISTE preview and the regional director show, talk about some stuff, and yeah, so it should be exciting. So, but definitely appreciate that. So we appreciate all of you who are listening live, all you who are listening in the future. Like and subscribe and share the podcast, share the YouTube channel. And we really appreciate, truly, from August to the end of May or the middle of June, whenever you're going. We appreciate everything you do for those students
Yeah,
in your classroom, making their lives better. We appreciate you advancing ed tech, being able to utilize it in a positive way, in a purposeful way, not just using it to use it. So truly appreciate all you all do. You definitely are, the heroes of those kids in those four walls. And PACT fully acknowledges that and understands that. So thank you for all you do. All right. Well, as they say, Dom, PACT, we are.
the voice of ed tech in Pennsylvania,
And
beyond.
have a great night, gang.
Take care,
Take care.
everybody.